Yeah, guys, welcome. I'm here with bodangers, the Queen of Karps. Gotta have the Queen of Karps there.
Hi,
But
Nathan.
hello, hello. So yeah, we're just gonna have a little chat. We got some questions from you guys in the community through Instagram. Didn't really put the names to the questions because we're just gonna kind of hit them all as a topic. But yeah, had a little handful of people reach out. So excited to jump on in. So
Okay, I'm really glad people sent you questions because I was worried, like, what if nobody cares?
oh yeah, there's a few, and then I already had some kind of laid out
Okay.
from people I talked to. Just kind of ask them, hey, what are you wondering about, or what's a good topic and stuff like that. So yeah, we got a pretty good range of things. So yeah, what you been up to lately? It's been like 2 years since our last like sit down and
Uh-huh.
chat. So yeah, what you been up to since then?
Um, I've went on a journey to discover myself more, and I've been trying to help others as well with stuff that is happening in their life, particularly relationships and
Cool.
friendships.
Awesome. So what do you do with that? You just kind of talk them through or like offer kind of like counseling for them or
Yes.
just wanting to
Yes.
help like that way?
Yeah, free counseling. I'm always on Reddit in these like relationship forums for both men and women. And I realize there has been a gender war lately. So just trying to find the middle ground to bring both sides together and to see where the issue is lying and see if there's like a solution or a compromise people can make.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people get one-sided and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
it's nice to well, I guess that's kind of what therapists are, they hear both sides and
Hmm.
one person kind of sides with themselves and it's hard to filter through the other side there. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's interesting. I feel like with the pandemic and everything people went through, like the need for that is a lot like more serious and more needed than
Hmm.
ever before for sure.
I think it's very important to address the issue sooner, or else we're going to see a ripple effect in relationships over time.
Yeah. There was actually which, there were some other health issues that was released from the CDC today in like a study which I don't really want to get into, but it's
Hmm.
essentially saying like the mental health of high school students and how they're seeing like an alarming rate of decline there. And so yeah, it's kind of sad to see that we're kind of moving in the other direction that we don't want to
Hmm.
go, but yeah, I think that applies to lots of things,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Hmm. I try to help people discover themselves and to like motivate them to be the best version of themselves in hopes that it spreads to people in their lives. That makes me happy. I don't know why I do it, but it's very self fulfilling. Um, and
Yeah.
it makes me feel like I'm giving something back to society and not just taking from it. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I work in healthcare. Um and that I kind of get that from, doing that, but it can be definitely tough.
Hmm.
I've actually just went like part-time in both my healthcare jobs, but it was tough and it's a little fulfilling giving back, but I mean, I've seen a lot of like coworkers really struggle with stuff like that too,
Hmm.
and yeah, it takes a toll on everybody, no matter like what side you're on. But
Yeah. Thank you for
unfortunately,
your sacrifice for people.
oh no problem. Thank you for all the work you're putting into it. It's really cool. But yeah, any other side projects outside of Pokemon that you've been working on, or
It's that's pretty much it. But in Pokemon, I have been working on a Facebook group that I purchased with my partner Ashley. Her name is Blasty Queen on Instagram. We co-own a group together. It grew from 30,000 members to close to 70,000 members right now.
Oh, nice.
We wanted a bully-free zone that accepts people of all backgrounds, and we want a clean group that has a low amount of scammers, so people feel safe trading by buying, selling, and showing off their collections. So far, it's been a good experience, and
Is that the
again,
Pokemon group, like the graded? I forget what the name was, but is that the one you're talking about?
that was my first group that
Okay.
I own 100%. The one that I own with Ashley is Pokemon Marketplace.
Okay. Say I was a part of the first group, I think, and that grew pretty well too, didn't it?
hmm I have no issues with it. Everyone has been very mature.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's no scammers or like no drama in that group. But the Pokemon Marketplace, that's a different story. I had to basically whip the group into shape when I first got it, and
Yeah.
now it's doing really well for a group that size, but we still have a long ways to go.
Yeah, I'm sure nowadays that's a lot of work for sure. Not like it used to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. My team is really good. We divide the roles really well, and it's not a dictatorship. We want the members to create the rules that they want. I bring it up to the people that I trust, and we all talk about it until we agree on what rules should be applied to the group and how we should handle things instead of just saying, like, what I say goes.
Hmm.
To make it more fair that way.
Yeah, it's awesome. For card wise, like what have you been doing? Did you go to any events or any collecticons in the last
This
couple
year,
years?
last year, I started traveling for the first time. Went to California twice, Las Vegas, Texas twice, and Orlando, Florida. Also, North Carolina.
Awesome.
So I'm burnt out. This year, I don't plan on traveling. Um,
Yeah, I never really traveled much. I did go to the KC Collecticon in Kansas City. That was
mhm.
like the closest one to me, but it was also like the smallest. So it was kind of nice. Like not a there wasn't many like online people who went there. There's a couple people from TikTok, but I'm not too involved with the TikTok side of things. Um, so it was cool talking to everybody. Um, the guy from Poke was there,
Mhm.
so good to talk to him and a couple other Kickstarter card game guys. I don't know if you ever interacted with Zaba or
Oh,
Hunter.
yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He's doing his own card game now.
Mhm.
So I think he actually broke the record for funding on GoFundMe for a TCG. Like
Oh, wow.
he got over $1 million for his goal, and it
To start
was,
a trading card game?
hmm yeah, he really went all out with that, and it's a good looking product. It's Nostalgics is um, that card game, but
Neat.
yeah, it was good just to see everybody. Like I wish more people
Mhm.
were there, but like I said, it was like one of the smaller ones, so it was nice in a way that it wasn't super crowded.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna for sure go to KC Con again, and I don't know, maybe Denver because that's kind of close too. But
Would you go to North Carolina for regionals next month? I I might consider that. There might be a
maybe,
signing there.
yeah, I heard about that. I might. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It'd be like a last minute decision, but that would be
Mhm.
interesting for sure.
Yeah, we
So
don't know who the artist is right now, but I hope it's Fukuda.
yeah, that'd be insane. I have a whole gold star set that's ungraded that I should probably grade, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't collect much of the signings as far as like famous people go, but that'd be something special there.
Yeah,
I always love the gold stars.
you should get an extra gold star signed by him.
Yeah, I should. That would be, yeah, if it's him, like that'd be the one that I'd probably like travel for. Like ever
Mhm.
since I started, the gold stars were some of my favorites, and like that was the goal I never thought I'd achieve. Like
Mhm.
starting out, which this was like 2011.
Mhm.
So it was like, oh man, I'm never gonna get those. Same with the crystal cards, like they're so expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, shortly after, you just acquire things and work your way up to it.
Is there a card that you want next?
Um, I have. Let me look at my list. I have a ever like following list on eBay that I have saved. So there's a Not Awake Pikachu, the birthday Pikachu, the Japanese one from the Not Awake magazines.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can, might not be able to see that there, but probably won't focus very much. But let me see if I can just find a picture of it. If you guys like, if you're watching this though, it's Not Awake Volume 6 Birthday Pikachu. It's not very expensive
Mhm.
as far as like promos like that go, but
I think I know what you're talking about. In front of the or behind the cake.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he's got like a wink. He the PSA 9 in that, which that's what I collect. Like any tins that I get, I've been selling lately, um, just to buy the 9 and continue buying other things. That's kind of been my shift over the last couple years. It's like I've really made the shift to like collect more things that I want personally rather than like chasing a lot of the money stuff. So if like a 10 is
Mhm.
graded, I'll just kind of sell it, buy the 9 and look
Mhm.
at something else to enjoy.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's that one's on my list. There's been a lot of cards lately that like the auctions have been like this one for instance, the auction PSA 9 has been selling like $600 like all day.
Mhm.
Anytime one comes up, it's right in the $600 area.
What was it before?
Like before 2020
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
uh I mean it was I don't know for sure, but probably like $100 card.
Oh wow, so I jump up a lot.
Yeah, before 2020, but like during 2020 it kind of seen a peak. Like they were probably going for 800, 1,000,
Mhm.
but with most things, kind of coming down, I feel like auctions right now are really the way to go to buy something because a lot of people still have kind of high prices for buy it nows. One card I still have is the 20th anniversary Festa Pikachu. I
Mhm.
I have that in a PSA 10, and the pop on the PSA 9s are like super low for that.
Is that the one with the starters?
Yeah,
The
let me.
the Charmander, Pikachu,
Yep, the best
Squirtle.
one.
The best one.
Yeah,
I have that too.
yeah. I
It's my
bought.
favorite.
Hang on, I have to show off my box here
Okay.
real quick. Let me show
Yes,
you what
flex
I.
on us.
Let me show you what I got on here. This is the ultimate flex.
Oh, I'm honored.
Yep, that is the shining carp from Bonnie herself. So yeah, I'm going to deck out that box of like all Pokemon stickers I get because I
Uh-huh.
have a whole stack of them. But see if I can find that here though. Can't. But yeah, it is the one with the starters, and I never sell one unless I get the 9
Hmm.
replacement. But
Yeah. A lot of times the Japanese graded nines can be regraded into tens anyway.
yeah, here's the guy here.
Gorgeous. You're gonna sell that for a nine?
I don't know. I'll probably like it's. It'll probably be the last card that I sell for a 9, but I don't know. I just don't know. The
I'm
thing
sure you
is,
can get a high offer for it.
yeah, those have actually went up in the last year.
Hmm.
Um, so good promos like that. They've been actually doing well through this downtrend, and I don't think people are really realizing that, especially like new people who are still discovering these promo cards. Um, most things are going down, but good cards like that have good values, like all over, being a unique promo and the starters,
Hmm.
it's really, those cards are doing well. So,
Exclusive Japanese promo, like you said, the starters, Pokemon that we can all like.
yeah.
Um, the way it's handed out, I believe, affected the value. They were just given out to people, right? Not in a top load or anything, just handed. Um,
Yeah, I think that one in particular was given out at the Festa tournament, just
uh-huh.
handed out to everybody, just like, here you go. So, yeah, it wasn't like a special thing or
Hmm.
anything.
So a lot of them had dings and whitening. It wasn't an expensive card at first. There were a few people selling them for $30 each, shipped from Japan. When it came out. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
think
I
think about.
I had one that I sold for $100 in like 2016, and I had gotten it for like 80. But yeah, then I sold it for 100 to buy something else, and then I didn't buy that back until like in 2020
Hmm.
because I was like, well, if this hype is happening, like that's a card that, like, one of the few cards that I've sold that I've regretted, and if I don't get it now, like that's a card I believe in. I might as well get it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I bit the bullet, and it still went up, even though I bought it at a quote unquote bad time at that time
Uh-huh.
period, but it worked out.
Yeah.
So another card like that is the Mario Pikachu. I actually just picked up
Uh-huh.
one of those recently. It's kind of in the same boat, but
What card do you think is in the same boat that's modern from this year?
um, I'm not
I can
sure.
go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like the Beauty and Pikachu with the Cramorant.
Yep, I picked those up. Those are solid.
I think they are around $300 for the two cards sealed right now. I see a lot of potential for those to grow. Um,
I have a funny story with those. Like, I've actually, like, that was a weird card for me. I actually lost, like, quote unquote lost money, but I don't really care because I'm buying it for myself. It's like I tried to buy those two cards twice, and they were from Japan each time, and I had problems with both orders. So it
mhm,
actually took me like 3 months to get those cards. So that was kind of like a little weird thing that happened to me last year. Like, they were kind of the bane of my like eBay purchases, because like I buy them, then they never ship, and then they're like, oh, we didn't have it. It
mhm,
was one of the Japanese stores that have like multiple stores.
mhm,
I don't
mhm,
know. It's kind of weird how that works, but so yeah, it was kind of a pain to get those, but yeah, those are for sure up there.
mhm. Also, isn't there a new Pikachu full art card from the premium collection?
Yeah, that's the one I was just thinking of. Like, that one could have some potential. It's like I think it's the Precious Collection box.
Let me show them the picture. Yes, that's the name.
Yeah, that one is very Festa Pikachu like. Like, they stopped doing the Festa Pikachus, which they did one every year, like from like 2014 to 2018, I think.
Mhm,
And that one with the Kanto starters was 2016. And then they stopped. But yeah, there it is. It's a really good looking card, and it's
mhm.
definitely like got the Festa vibes.
It's a lot prettier in person, the way the texture is. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know how much they were as a single card outside of the box when they were first released, but now they are like $400
Yeah.
for them.
I was going to buy that, but then they did some, like, I forgot what they did. It was like a lottery, but they had like pre orders open for a second time.
Hmm.
Like, it's still pretty like limited considering modern things, but
Hmm.
like that kind of scared me away. And then it was also printed in like the English set, that artwork.
Oh, that's true. It's not Japanese exclusive.
Yeah. But like it doesn't look as good as that, like with the sparkles and texture and everything.
Yeah.
It's still a
I
good,
al-
still a strong card.
I also look at the price. If a card is very expensive um, upon release and it's increasing in price, like at a more than average amount, I think that card's gonna be worth a lot more in the future, quicker.
Yeah. I think with the beauty looking back and the Cramorant, those I think they went down slightly, but then right back up. Cause like I waited, I think I waited 2 months for those stamp boxes to come out.
Hmm.
And then when I tried to buy them and had those problems where like I was wanting to buy them like 2 months after, but I really got them like 4 months after. By that point, they were already starting to go up, so that's relatively quick. But um, I think we had a question that was like that for modern stuff. Let me pull those up real quick. I know one of the questions was with modern sealed, and oh, here it is. Is modern overprinted? Why or why not? This one was actually from Johto Collectibles. He was one who commented on the post.
Okay.
So, yeah. Is modern overprinted? Why or why not?
I personally do not think modern is overprinted. I think it's underprinted. Um, it's the whole like there's so much demand for booster boxes now because the era that we grew up in, we are all adults with money and we don't open just one booster box anymore. We open one case
Yeah.
normally to try to complete the set with our kids. And also, I believe material is more scarce. Um, so maybe that will affect the printing. And with COVID and everything, the factories are not pumping out as much as the demand wants them to pump out. And also the
Yeah.
box breakers and whatnot.
I'm kind of
Um,
in the same boat. I think they're underprinted because we're still obviously seeing the demand. Um, it's kind of weird though. Like some of that demand is people who just want to like hold on to it sealed, but
mhm,
I mean, nevertheless, like the demand's there. So if people want to keep the box sealed, that's on them. So as long as they buy it, Pokemon should be making it.
mhm.
What people do with those intentions, I sometimes I don't agree with. Like I don't know if people are going to be getting rich off modern, or they very well might. But
Yes,
there's better plays, I think.
I agree with that because a lot of people think if I store this booster box for 5 years, it's gonna go up in price
Mm-hmm.
like a base set booster box.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, sure, people are gonna like opening it, and yeah, it will go up because at some point, like Pokemon does have to decide to like not make it anymore. But yeah, there's so much better things, or like people will post like, here's my sealed collection, and they got like the lunchbox tins and stuff like that, and they're asking for advice like what else could I add to this to like make money,
Hmm.
and it's like I don't have a problem with them doing that, but it's like you're collecting sealed. You're not really investing in it, which that's perfectly fine if you like to collect that stuff. But people are coming across like they want to make money in like 5 years. But
Hmm.
if they really believe that, like, why don't you just buy more of this one set that's obviously better than this set? But they like to spread it out, so really they're like collecting, which
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that. But I just hope people don't think like everything, no matter what they buy, is going to get them rich. And
Hmm.
a lot of new people kind of feel that way.
we get around 1,000 posts a day through Pokemon Marketplace for approval, and I've seen posts every day of people asking, "Should I buy this to invest in? Um, what should I buy to make money?" And I'm like, it's you and thousands of other people that we've seen doing it.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when you guys all want to sell your stuff? You're not going to have enough buyers in the future. And like you said, it's better to invest that money into something else because I'm pretty sure the majority of collectors always buy something extra to sell in the future to
Yeah.
make back their money. And steel boxes are the easy option.
I've went the opposite way, and like anything that I've had sealed, I actually sold last year, and like I'm totally like out of sealed right now. But I don't really.
Do you need any?
Uh, what you got? Depends. Like mostly, if I buy something, I just open it for fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, going to the Collecticon and seeing some things with Evolving Skies. So the first off, the only things I really had sealed is like WotC stuff, and
Hmm.
anything outside of WotC stuff. Within the last 3 years, I had some Celebrations UPCs, and then I had the Eevee Heroes special box that was only released in Japan,
Hmm.
which are very strong products. Like out of all the products, like those were the two like I believed in the most. Um, Aside from that, yeah, like maybe the stamp box and maybe the Precious collection box. But I don't know. I just got this, this weird vibe. Like trying to sell WotC stuff now is very difficult. There is a lot of newer people in the hobby,
Hmm.
and everyone's very paranoid with fakes, um, which does make sense. And then just seeing with the Evolving Skies or Eevee Heroes reprint in Japan, like there was a lot of stuff going on there where people were searching or getting like fake boxes, but essentially like
Fake Evolving Skies boxes in Japan? Or
Eevee Heroes.
Yeah.
And I think Rusty, even TCA Gaming, like he opened some in a live. Like he got them from like a shop
Ooh.
in Japan, and he opened like 4 boxes in a row and not a single hit in them. So he obviously knew something was up. And then he got something
So
from
they
a,
were resealed.
yeah, they appeared to be searched or just resealed entirely. And so that, I think it's kind of calmed down a little bit. That was like peak Evolving Skies EV Heroes hype.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's just kind of scary. Like, I understand why people are paranoid, and then obviously seeing these big videos blow up with it,
Hmm.
all the fake stuff. But
Hopefully that was just a production error.
yeah,
'Cause for a Japanese store to do that,
I
I don't see
think
it happening. Or maybe they got it from someone who did that.
he did a follow up, and I forget how it was, but it definitely wasn't on the store's end. So it was either like the distributor side or people like selling their sealed to that store or something like
Hmm.
that. But yeah, I mean, they looked legit and they were legit packs, just no hits. So they've been
Hmm.
searched pretty well. But yeah, all in all, like I only really started keeping sealed stuff like after 2020. Like I kind of, joined into that, but I was like, I'm just gonna, phase all this out and just collect singles and stuff that I like. So I just kind of went back to my roots essentially, just collecting what I like. And, I did sell a lot of stuff through the hype, but with that money, I bought stuff back or, bought other things that I wanted. But
Hmm.
so it's all good. I don't know. I like opening things and that's kind of about it.
The price of the boxes are underpriced for how much enjoyment and value you get from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we think about it, how much is it? 140? We spend like $50 minimum when we go out to eat for dinner, right? Taking the families out.
Hmm.
Like what's 140 bucks for 36 packs? And you can possibly pull a hit that makes you back most of your money.
Yeah, that's kind of always my mentality too. Like, and why I put so much stuff into Pokemon. It's like I'm like very minimal in general, like super minimal. Like
Hmm.
I don't think I bought clothes in over a year. I probably need to, but this shirt was actually a Christmas gift, so I really try, to limit myself on things. I don't really spend on anything else, but
Huh.
like with Pokemon, there's like value there. You're not just like wasting your money per se, even though they could go to zero someday, but it's like you enjoy them and it's not like a meal that you'll eat and forget about.
Yeah, you can sell the bulk cards
Yeah.
if you want.
Or it's not like going out and drinking and forgetting about it and stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
But
It's a healthier addiction.
yep, for sure. All right. Well, let's see what other
Yeah.
questions we got
Hope
here.
hopefully we answered his questions really well.
Yeah, like I mean, my answer just kind of goes down to like I think I think they need to print more for the demand, but we kind of went off on people keeping sealed stuff, but if
It
people
ties in together.
yeah, and if people want to collect that, like that's what they want to collect, so that's demand. It just might not work out for them, when they're trying to resell it, but as long as the demand's there, like which obviously it is, I think they should just keep printing.
Hmm.
Um Kind of tying back to like early 2010s when I got back into it, like my purchasing Pokemon packs for me was like going into Walmart and then they'd have like all the time the racks of the blister packs. And like I'd pull like a 3 pack off and open it. I'd go back the next day after playing like Ultimate Frisbee with my friends and we'd buy another pack. Like stuff was always available. There wasn't a single thought of, I'm going to buy this entire thing. And, so I think that's what it will come down to. Eventually, Pokemon will be on the same page, but it might be still a ways away. But anyway, what are your 2023 goals compared to like 2020 or like pre 2020? Like, how have you changed essentially, I guess, is what they're kind of getting at. So, how have you changed like during the hype, after the hype, and what are your 2023 goals?
That is a good question. Before I prioritized other people and their collections, and I also prioritized making money because I was like forced to see money in the hobby when it was all hyped up. A lot of people were like throwing money at me, thinking I would just accept it for my collection.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wanted to get me to teach them about the hobby and how to make thousands of dollars. And I ended up getting paid for that. So it was very like money oriented, prioritizing other people before my own happiness. But this year, it's the complete opposite. I want to do what makes me happy and not prioritize money as much. Um, and so far, it's been working out. My head is in a better place.
Yeah, it's good. So that's kind of how you shifted during the hype.
Hmm.
Just kind of focus more on yourself.
Yeah, a lot of collectors were forced to consider money more because of how much their collection was increasing so quickly.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I remember thinking like when things were crazy, was like, man, just 2 years ago, I didn't care about this. Like, I just
Uh,
like to have it.
yeah.
And then you're just sitting there and like, you have a
All the
card that's worth like a ridiculous amount.
your $500 Shadowless Charizard became 5,000,
Oh, yeah, it was
and you're like, ah, should I sell or should I keep?
the only reason I didn't sell a lot of that stuff is because I was afraid like I'd never get it back again. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't the fear of like, I didn't want the money. It's the fact that no matter what, I want the card. And yeah, I'd like to sell it now and get that money, but if things keep going up, like I'm never going to get this card back.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
thankfully, like, things calm down again and we're back to earth, even though things are still higher than they were.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, you should have seen it coming, but it's like that was just so unprecedented to know that it was like a bubble situation just because,
Mhm.
we're in the middle of it. But yeah, it's like I had a good friend up here that we met through Pokemon Go and kind of reconnected during that time because the whole time through Pokemon Go, like I was, collecting cards obviously, and I tried to get him to collect. I've always asked him like, "Hey, you should let me see your old stuff. I bet you got some good ones." And he never like really got serious or kind of blew me off about it. Well, he reached out to me in 2020. It's like, man, I should have listened, and I want to know everything. And I kind of like took him under my wing because it was just nice to talk to someone about it in person because nobody
Mhm.
he's the type of person I knew who would like be serious about it and like actually take what I told him like seriously, and he goes pretty hardcore into things like I do. So I was like, okay, like he brought his collection over. I like showed him all my things and we put together our first PSA order that ended up
Mhm.
going through Ludkins that took 2 years.
Oh,
So
that's a completely different topic that we can talk about too.
yeah,
Once you that said that name.
yep, that sitting down at that coffee table in like October 2020, that's where that Ludkins order got formed.
Uh huh.
And yeah, I
You said
forgot
2 years.
2 years for that Ludkins order. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with the story about him coming up, but yeah, I guess it went back to the prices of things. Like when we were
Mhm.
sitting down, like looking at that stuff, I hadn't really like looked at the prices during the hype because I didn't really care. I'm like, oh yeah, Pokemon's going crazy. They were gonna
Mhm.
sell this stuff, but he had saw the prices because he was like doing the research as a new person. He's like, oh my god, this card's worth like this much, and this card's worth that much, and like that night, I was like, geez, like I need to make a decision here, like see what
Mhm.
could happen. But that was my thought was to send those cards out. Thankfully, they did take so long in my case because it kept me from making a decision, of when to sell things. But
Mhm. Yeah. A lot of people that sent cards after the hype um weren't able to sell it for peak prices because
mm-hmm.
everyone and their moms were doing it.
Yeah, he bought. This was that 2 or 3 week period when everyone was talking about evolutions, when the evolutions booster boxes were going crazy.
Mhm.
The evolution boxes at the time were 250, and he, just coming into the hobby, when you first enter the hobby, you want to open a lot of stuff. You want to get involved and build your collection. And I straight up told him like you're going to want to open boxes. Like he had like a lot of money he was ready to go in, and he bought I think like 5 evolutions booster boxes. I'm
Mhm.
like, it is a safe bet because, people want to open that stuff, but you're going to want to open that stuff too. And he's like, okay, I'm going to buy one box, open it, keep 4, maybe buy another if I get some hits. And he did like really well on his opening. He opened another, did really well on that one, opened another. He opened up like all five, I think.
Oh,
And his luck in submissions were most of that stuff, unfortunately, like a lot of people. And yeah, he could have done pretty well just keeping those sealed, but he was a new collector and everything,
yeah,
so
yeah. We all learn a lot of lessons from Pokemon.
yeah. And he got them for like 250, so it could have been worse, but
Hmm.
yeah, I was there telling him 2 weeks ahead of like everybody else finding out, because that's where he benefited from having someone who like was knowledgeable already. And then sure enough, like 2 weeks later, everyone was kind of on the train, and that's when they went to $1,000. And yeah, wild times.
Hmm.
It was crazy.
I have a case of Evolutions, first print run.
Nice.
And I wanted to sell it when it was $1,000 each.
Yeah.
But a part of me was like, no, wait until it's $2,000 each.
Yeah. They've came down a little bit, but they're still pretty strong.
Uh-huh.
And it
Yeah.
will be a good set. Like, that's the cheapest option to opening that stuff, to get
Hmm.
that OG feeling. So it is
It's one of my
still,
favorite sets to open.
yeah, it is a really great set. And you pull Charizards like frequently, like it's just a hollow, so it's not like stupid rare. Like they pop
Uh-huh.
up every once in a while. I think he got like three. He got like two hollows and a reverse hollow Charizard in that first box. So that's,
Hmm.
anybody opening that for the first time wants to open another one.
Hmm.
And he did have some good luck, but yeah, great set. Um, what were, I guess, your 2023 goals? Just kind of keep doing the same thing, kind of focus on yourself and go that route, right?
Hmm. Just work on building the Facebook group and find a good system to make it self-sufficient.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of keep doing what I'm doing too. Just kind of buy what I love. Like I've always had a list of cards that were kind of my checklist of things to go after, and
Hmm.
yeah, just continuing to do that. Not
Hmm.
try not to buy anything extra, but that's hard to do sometimes.
For 2023, I've been motivating people to not buy cards
Yeah,
and to focus on selling the extras that they have because how many Pokemon cards do we actually need in our life in order to be happier? Um, we have to focus or sacrifice some of them to make our lives better, whether it be moving out of that apartment or um, paying off a mortgage, paying off a car, starting a family. There's plenty of things in life that we can improve on. Um, and I think it's time for like people that are growing up to sell sell like a small portion of it to make dreams become a reality. Uh, People are just so focused on buying cards all the time and they don't think about their collection in the long run, how we could help them. It's
yeah,
tough. Better said than done.
it is. Yeah, it is tough letting something go. Um, it is a really great way to collect, though. Um, Essentially, that's what I've been trying to do more in selling the tens and going for nines.
Hmm.
Um, I just came to the conclusion that I don't need tens, like any tens that I get graded. It's more about the memories and just having the card in general. So that's why I like the nines. Um, but if you go about the hobby buying what you like, you'll naturally accumulate more than you've really planned. Or like if you have a goal, you'll buy stuff outside of that goal because, like, oh, I really like that. Oh, I really like that. And
Hmm.
then eventually, like with me, I reach a point to where, like, okay, I have too many of these random cards. And then, like, I'll sell all those to buy something big that I want that's part of my main goals.
Hmm.
But I don't know if like a lot of people do that or if it's just me being, minimal. Because I like to collect, and then sell and kind of condense things to like have my collection be worth the same amount but less
Mhm.
items. And then I kind of build up and then I like crunch it together again.
Mhm.
And I've done that, 5 times over, almost 20 years now. And that's
Any
kind
advice you can give people on how to do that efficiently?
um it's hard to do like post or pre 2020. It was just kind of, everything essentially went up in the end because we've had 2020 happen. um I think if you're collecting for the right reasons, like what you enjoy, no matter the dollar amount, like you can't go wrong there.
Mhm.
And the thing is, like, if you believe in it to that extent, other people do too. um Being in like a weird niche hobby might seem isolated, but there's way more people out there thinking the same way you do than you can imagine. So I think, just kind of collect. It's kind of cliche, but collect what you love and
Mhm.
keep at it. But
But for everything that you collect, sell 2 items.
there you go.
Yes, it's the balance. And I know people have thousands of cards, so no excuses not to start listing stuff on eBay.
Yeah. When I kind of went on a spending spree. Um, have you heard of Disney Lorcana
Mhm.
coming out? Are you into that at all, or
Yeah, I
been?
had a sample, not a sample set, the D23 set that came by.
Yeah. Do you still
Um,
have those? Are you investing in those or collecting those or?
no, I was sharing them with someone, but we sold
Oh, I gotcha.
at a peak. Yeah, PokeJuice still has many of them left, so if anyone's interested in buying tens, feel free to contact him.
Yeah, I know he was one of the few people I saw like post about it. There's been a few others since they showed the products, but yeah, PokeJew, I saw him post some of his tins. Um, but anyway, I bought a set of those like the weekend of D23 and ended up grading all those, and they graded pretty well. More,
Nice. Congrats.
thanks. More than I think 4 of them came back tens. So those were the things like I sold like, yeah, the release is coming up, but I was like, I just like want the card. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I sold those at a pretty good time to get the nines there. So I kind of went on a spending spree for Pokemon with like that extra money.
Oh no, you didn't save it.
Yeah, so that's where the Mario Pikachu came from.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I still have yeah.
So
Long
do
story
you?
short, when that happened, like I made a new pile of stuff to bring to Collecticon. So I have like this thing is like 5 rows, an entire row of like
Okay.
20 cards is set aside to turn into something, which
Well,
that those 20 cards will probably like sell to turn into like one Pokemon card.
oh, okay.
So
A Grail card. That's good.
yeah, so
Condensing it.
I'm just that's my way of saving for the big cards. Like I just buy a
Hmm.
bunch of smaller cards and then I decide to sell them.
Hmm.
May not be the best way to do it, but I have fun with it.
Hmm. I think it's a good way. You don't have to pay too much out of pocket.
Yeah, and I won't be tempted to, buy something random that comes out.
Hmm.
With Lorcana though, I'm just sticking to that set. I think it's a really great set. Has a lot of potential. I like the artwork, but I'm not gonna start collecting Lorcana by
Oh,
any
yeah.
means. Just those cards.
Pokemon is expensive as is.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been splurging on autograph cards.
Ooh, getting into
I
the
actually,
autos, huh?
yeah, this one's a Dusko by Cookie Saito.
Oh, nice. Got the little heart
And
on there too.
yes, he was very nice. and then Fukuda.
Nice. One of the my favorite gold stars right there.
And the last one I'm gonna show off is the card I brag about all the time. Hitoshi
Oh,
Ariga. The sketch is
nice.
amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an awesome signature too.
Hmm. Yeah. I think autograph cards are more for quote unquote the retired collector because
Yes.
a lot of people deem autograph cards as um, devaluing the card itself. If it's an expensive card like a first edition Charizard, you're technically adding ink to a
Yeah.
authentic card.
I think yeah, it makes sense like it's for the retired collector. I think like some people just really hate signatures, some people like they're all about it. I enjoy them.
Hmm.
I I just don't really collect them. I like getting people's signatures though. Like I have a little stack of signature cards. Like if I meet somebody that's just like a friend, I'll
Hmm.
have them sign a card just to like, have a memento. Um, I don't know if you're on E4 any that much. Um,
No, I am not.
they, I'm not on there too much, but something caught my eye on there last month. They did a member signature exchange. So there was only like 38 participants. So everybody bought or signed 40 cards of their choice. And then we all sent them to one person. And then that one person divvies up one card from each pile and sends them back to
Aw,
everybody.
that's so cute.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. Like that'll be like those types of cards like I'll cherish. Like it's just something really cool idea. So, and then for events like Kansas City Collecticon, I took hollow cards and rubbed the ink off so it's like just a hollow face. So if I see somebody or meet somebody, they could sign that. So I have a couple of
Hmm.
those. But yeah, I don't know if I'll. It is mostly a money thing for me. Like I would totally collect signatures, but I just trying to stay focused on just the goals and whatnot.
Hmm. Yeah, they're so expensive now unless you buy them right after a signing, which is approximately $500.
Yeah, yeah, I might have to keep my eye out and do that for a couple of them.
Hmm.
So if I did ever sell anything, like if I had something like that, that would be something cool to keep for sure. All right. Well, let's see here. I have a random question that they just said like have you felt the market lows? Like I guess meaning like have we felt like are we hurting from the market lows or anything like that? I guess
Have you
meaning
felt?
I think
I like that question too. The
it's
market was.
I guess meaning like the last year, I guess we've been in like a lull or a lull. Like, have we been impacted by that? I guess would be the what they're getting
I've
at.
I've been satisfied with the prices I sell my cards at. Um, I am at an advantage, and I have the privilege and the hobby to be able to run a group where people can just trust to buy from me. So it's hard for me to say, but I have noticed selling CGC slabs have been difficult for me compared to selling like PSA slabs. Um, Beckett slabs, it's okay, but I can't justify paying for subgrades,
Yeah.
and the profit margin with Beckett slabs is small, but the profit margins with PSA and CGC are higher. Just that PSA sells more for me. Um,
Do you collect CGC? I know you collect BGS a little bit, right?
I send cards that have errors to CGC. Um, I have Japanese slabs, but they aren't really selling as fast as I thought they would.
Yeah. I I will buy a 9.5 CGC card. Like, so I guess I technically collect them, but for every, for every 25 to 40 cards I have in PSA, I maybe only have one CGC card.
Hmm.
So I don't mind having it, but I like having the subgrades for some
Hmm.
reason. I don't really pay for them because I just buy the card, but I don't really grade with CGC, but I like their slabs, but yeah, I definitely see that price difference for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, to the question, like that's something I felt like if you do have CGC cards, like you might feel that a little bit,
Hmm.
but
Maybe I'm just sending in cheap cards to CGC. I need to try with something more expensive. But
even the
um,
pricier stuff, like, the gap is definitely there still. Um, but yeah, pretty much every card I have in CGC is like $100 or less.
yeah. Graded cards take up so much space too. So
Hmm.
I'm not grading that much.
This is my favorite CGC one that I have. It's the
Ooh.
Celebi Alt Art. It's from what set? Jet Jet Black Spirit Box purchase. So if you buy a booster
Yeah.
box, I think you get that.
Uh-huh. That's a nice one. I have a couple 9.5s myself, thinking it's a good investment, which I
Yeah.
think the car's a good investment too.
Yeah, I'm still sticking to the same values, like buying unique promos, but this one is actually in that pile of maybe sell because it was in the set, in the
Hmm.
English, but so it's a maybe sell. It's not a true exclusive, but I like it though. Yeah, I like their slabs and stuff, and they got good value. Um, I did just send in some metal cards because they started grading those again.
Hmm.
Did you have any of
Yeah.
those that you sent in?
I have not sent any in yet. I wanted to send it to Beckett to try to get the goat label.
Yeah, that would look awesome.
Do they even grade it?
I'm not. I want to say no, but I I can't really speak for BGS though.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't really deal with them too much.
Yeah.
Um,
I might wait for PSA to start grading them then. It's cool how CGC is able to grade a lot more cards.
yeah, definitely when PSA opens them, like I'll be more interested there, and I'll probably try to get the nines for sure.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I'll do with my CGCs when they come back. It's mostly just was a curious thing, and I wanted them protected. But let's
I
see.
I actually have one complaint about PSA before we move on.
Yeah.
They do not give out the OC grade as much anymore. They're very strict about it now. I have many cards that are obviously OC. There's barely any border um, with the alignment dot, and they just reduce the grade in half.
So it has the dot on there even, and they won't give it to you.
Yes, the full dot,
Wow,
right
that's
smack
kind
in
of
the middle of the
crazy.
corner.
I was getting ready to say, like, I've noticed that too, like where you pretty much have to have the dot to get it, but apparently that's not even enough now, huh?
Yeah,
Man.
so I'd rather send those cards to CGC and have it properly graded than send them to PSA. And I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like that strict. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Okay, now we can move on.
Do you collect those, or are you just like grading those and selling those like
I collect
OCs?
them if it's a card that I really like. So I have an OC Magikarp. Oh, you're blurry now.
Oh, yeah, I see you went a little blurry. You're still there though.
I do have a Magikarp and a Gyarados Pokemon Go card, as well as a Shadowless Charizard, all with the OC alignment dot, but they're not labeled OC.
Ah. Yeah, that's weird. I feel like I heard, or maybe I saw it in one of the pages, like, yeah, you pretty much have to have that dot now, but yeah, I wonder what their alignment standards are or what their ratio is.
Hmm.
Do we have any hobbies outside of Pokemon?
Ooh, that hits me in the feels, because I feel like I'm a boring person. What do we do for fun? Are we just nerds that collect Pokemon cards in a basement?
Yeah, that's enough fun for everybody, I think.
I recently got my dream car, um, the 2023 BRZ, so I've been focusing on how to drive better with a stick shift
Awesome.
and going out to car meets and talking to people there.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you.
I I have a few other hobbies. Pokemon's definitely the biggest one. I recently got back into D&D, so I have like a friend group who invited me to join their D&D campaign, so I've been kind of doing that. And then I actually
Hmm.
started one online with a couple of my other friends, where I run that game. So that's been a lot of my free time at night if I ever have some free time, when I hop on. Video games, though, I try not to play as much anymore. I'm really hesitant to like start games because I get pretty into them. Like I really go all out on things like I do with Pokemon. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I try to limit myself because I know myself. But other than that, though,
That's good.
yeah, not really much else.
You're keeping yourself social. That's good.
Yeah, trying to.
I'm forcing myself to go out and talk to people.
I used to play disc golf a little bit here and there, and then like actual like real golf, but I don't know many other people who like are really into that. And I like being alone a lot of times. Like it's very peaceful, like out
Hmm.
on the golf course or at the park. And I'm kind of a hermit anyway, but yeah, I just don't do it as much because it's more fun with friends in the end, I think. But I
Hmm.
do enjoy it time to time. All right, what is your favorite card of all time?
That's difficult.
Which Magikarp is it?
Um, you already know I'm reaching for a Magikarp. Okay,
Oh,
this might
there's the
be one of my
binder.
favorite cards. Yeah. So there's two cards I'm gonna pull out. One's one of my favorite cards, and one is like there's a specific card that's my favorite, and I'll tell you why. So the first one, my favorite card is the Fan Club promo Magikarp.
Ooh, pretty.
This one is a pseudo, I guess, pseudo trophy, is what I
Mm-hmm.
call it.
Yeah, a lot more pricey than like the normal shining. If you guys are new to that one,
PSA 9? I think it's like 10K. Um,
did you
I was
bust it out?
bid. Hmm?
Did you bust it out as a nine, or that's what nine goes for?
That's what nines go for. This was from a friend of mine that I purchased. It wasn't as expensive, but I had to make payment plans towards it. There was a 9.5 I was bidding on before COVID and lost it to someone who bid 8K,
Hmm,
approximately 8K. That was a good price then, and then it shot up. I'm sure that car's like 20,000 now. Um, so this is my favorite card in the collection, the Ishihara signed
nice.
card personalized to me.
That's awesome.
He is a very he's the president of Pokemon. Also, I think the CEO. He is a very sharp, like man. He is very highly intelligent, but he looks very like fragile and nice, like a grandpa. But he
Yeah,
is very smart when I talk to him.
that's awesome. My favorite card is actually that Festa Pikachu that we showed off earlier. Um, like I said, that's going to be a hard one for me to sell in the tin.
Hmm.
It's just, it captures so much of like, what you love. That's why it's doing so well now. It's got the original starters. Love the full art, love the hollow. It's just a really great card. And I don't know, like, out of everything I've ever done in Pokemon, like, I've had some pretty big, I mean, I guess you'd call them mistakes, but things
Hmm.
that I wish I didn't do or things that I wish I didn't sell. And like selling that card for $100 in 2016 was like the one that's haunted me the most, to where I've paid, you know, 200% up from that to just buy it back again.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's it was a journey getting that card back, and I like plotted it out, planned it out, and so a lot of work and determination went into getting that card back. And um, the experience of buying a raw one and grading it myself, and that was nerve wracking alone. But yeah, it's been my favorite card now for sure. Was that always your favorite card, or has it changed over
It's
the
always been
years?
my favorite card,
Yeah.
the original Golden Carp. Been my favorite so much I've lost count of how many copies I got. They were very cheap back then, like $20 each.
Yeah. My favorite card, I remember like my first ever favorite card was Blaine's Arcanine for some reason, like as a
It's a
kid.
gorgeous card.
Yeah, I just loved how it was framed and loved the look of him. And
Hmm.
it's changed many times since then, but for the last few years, that Festa promo, I think that's going to be like one of the only cards I keep in a tin, unless like I'm really trying to get something else.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we can just kind of hop through a few others here. What card are you most proud of? This was, I think, uh, this was kind of my question, though, I think. But yeah, I know you wanted to talk about that. But what card are you most proud of?
It would have to be the same card. That's my favorite.
Nice.
Just the Ishihara signed one. It was a pivotal moment of my collecting, quote unquote, career.
Yeah. And you have a picture with him and everything on your Instagram, um,
Hmm.
kind of telling that story too. So that's a good one, good memory.
Hmm. He taught me to stay humble in the hobby and to not do anything shady because, like, karma will get you. And the reason why he taught me that was, like, in line, there was a man behind me who kept pressuring me to get stuff signed for money.
Ah, I see.
And um, he did something, I guess he wanted to help me in a way, even though I didn't want his help. He wanted me to get another card signed, like instead of the Magic card because it was a $200 card at the time. He wanted me to get a Shadowless Charizard signed, like a Rita, and I can make like $20,000 or so. I'm like, no, like I want the Magic card signed. So he said as a favor, he would help me get the card signed. And I'm like, okay, why would you sacrifice one of your slots for for me? But sure, like if you really want, because you've been bothering me about it the whole time. Um, so when he went up there after me, I think he pressured Ishihara to do an extra signature for him,
Uh,
which, like, thinking back on it, like I know that's incredibly like, disrespectful, and I feel like crap about it for taking up time and bothering Ishihara. and but that was an eye opening. Um, because Ishihara gave him a horrible signature.
Yeah.
So my I have a Shadowless Charizard. I don't know if it's in this binder that has a signature that won't be graded by Beckett or PSA. Let me show it. This is the signature that he got.
So yeah, he was
I
like,
mean,
well, okay, here you go.
I can make it out to kind of be like Ishihara, but it's like Ishihara when he wakes up.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell it wasn't as like genuine. It's like,
Uh huh.
okay, well, here you go.
Let's just get this guy out of my face.
Yeah.
And he handed it back to me, and I can immediately tell the difference. And ever since then, I don't give into peer pressure, and I don't want to tolerate people that are disrespectful because Ishihara caught that. And
Yeah.
he's like, okay, this is your karma. Like, I'm gonna ruin your card and like devalue it. So it has the opposite effect
Mm-hmm.
just with a flick of his wrist. And I see it as a priceless lesson. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna not be like that guy.
Yeah, and that he can feel that. I'm sure he's pressured all the time, and he can
Mm-hmm.
tell when someone's genuine or not, or like really
Mm-hmm.
excited. And yeah, I'm sure like the stress and everything in those lines. Like I've never really participated in many. I participate in lines for other things because like things just get stressful, especially when you're down to nitty gritty and people trying to buy your spot and
Mm-hmm.
like the whole situation is just I wish they could find a better solution to doing those things, but
Nowadays they have.
what do they do now?
It's by lottery, I believe. Some places it's by lottery, or when you first put your information in, there's people monitoring it to make sure you don't put it in for someone else.
Okay.
And you get a text message before your turn is up, so you don't have to wait in line all the time. Um, Also, it has to be personalized to you. It can't be personalized to trainer, to collector, to collector in Japanese,
Yeah.
to Ash. So that deters a lot of people who are planning on going to the convention just to sell those autograph cards from actually lining up and going through with it.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess I'm sure the lottery's hard to get into though, huh?
Yeah,
But I guess yeah, that's what they got to do.
that deters a lot of people from flying in just
Mhm.
to get autographs because, like, with lottery system, people that actually went for the event will be happy regardless or not. They get an autograph.
So you got to sign up for the lottery like there in person most of the time? Like
That I'm
on
not
site?
100% sure. I think so. It all depends on the event, but the official Pokemon events has gotten stricter,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah, they're figuring things out and just like everything else, the hype there was kind of unprecedented, so things will get better. There will be more signings, and as more signings happen, like I guess depending on who you get, ideally the
Hmm.
value would go down. Um, but at some point, people stop signing, amongst other
Hmm.
factors.
Yeah, I'm sure Ishihara is not gonna do personalizations anymore. When he was signing for me in DC a while ago, he was more on the frail side. I'm sure it took a toll on his body. So, for London, he was there. He did a lottery for posters that he pre-signed in private.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, just sitting that long, I mean that's hard. How can we improve the hobby, like on a personal level?
For our personal experiences or for the hobby as a whole?
I think it means like what can a person do to improve the hobby, like as a single person? Um, so yeah, I guess like maybe what have you done to improve it for yourself, which we kind of touched on a little bit,
Hmm. Okay.
and then as a whole.
I I'd say to help the hobby as a whole is to get involved in your communities, whether it be sharing your collection and or commenting on other people's posts and motivating them. Um, Also reporting any bullying in the Facebook groups and actually like volunteering to help make the group flourish. That will pay off in the long run instead of being someone that would just take, like, they would only sell their cars and go out. They
Yeah,
don't
be
want to
be
get
done.
involved. I think that takes away from the hobby. But that's why in our group, we try to encourage people to get a conversation going to break the ice so we can all stay in this hobby long term.
Yeah, I'm kind of along the same lines. Get out there, talk to people. You know,
Uh-huh.
I mean, for me, like I said, it kind of goes back just collecting what you believe in. Just kind of cut out all the noise. You know, there's a whole system of hype that you kind of have to block out to, cut through all the BS and
Hmm. I do that.
yeah, just enjoy what you enjoy. Don't try to be someone you're not. And, if you like getting out there talking to people, if you're genuine, it'll be an overall positive. You just gotta find the people who are not like that, who are just kind of, fake and just trying to get out there to make money and stuff like that. Which some
Hmm.
people doing that, nothing wrong with that. But with
It's not the crowd I want to hang out with.
yeah, with money comes many other problems and
Hmm.
a lot of problems which aren't good, unfortunately.
Hmm. I've tried to be friends with everyone back then, and that's one of my biggest regrets actually, because I befriended many of the wrong people that I don't want in my life that put money ahead of others for their own benefit. And that was just draining and it brought in a lot of drama. But I have since distanced myself from people like that, and my life has been a lot less stressful. I've been a lot happier, and I made many more friends that I can cherish.
Yeah, I want to get out there more. Like I thought about doing more YouTube videos. I mean, I'm mostly active on Instagram. Um, I've tried to do videos here and there. Like I'm trying to get back into the swing of it, but that's one thing that I almost kind of regret in a way. Is like I was always helpful to people who like come to me, but I never really put myself out there too much.
Hmm.
Um, Back when I started like really collecting again in like 2011, I actually made videos back then on YouTube, and I went by like the Shining Nate Dog X, like that was my
Hmm.
original name. Um, so I think I took all the videos down because I just, a lot younger, I was like self conscious and I didn't like putting myself out there too much. Um, I really wish like I wouldn't have done that and just continue to grow that and not care, which I don't care anymore. It's just like,
Hmm.
how motivated am I to do that? But it was something I struggled with. And, you know, if you search that name on YouTube now and like I see those videos of like people who are around back then, like doing trades with me, because there's still a couple videos of like trades that were done with me where they just kind of show off the cards. And I'm like, man, like I miss that person. They don't even collect anymore. I haven't talked to them for 20 years. And like Unlisted Leaf was just starting out, and Primetime Pokemon was the biggest PokeTuber with like 100,000 subscribers. Like I just missed those days. Like I just kind of went under the radar and didn't put myself out there. So I think if you really enjoy this hobby like I did back then, just like put yourself out there, like find people who also love it. Don't be ashamed of it. Um, yeah, here we are down the road, and I enjoy every minute of it, and just wish I would have made more connections.
Mhm.
But so that's where the true love and like the joy out of it comes.
Mhm.
So yep, I'm gonna try to go to more events though. Maybe try to do more videos and get
Mhm.
going with some things and just put myself out there a little more.
Yes, I tell people to be proactive to make the hobby better. I am starting a trend in Maryland. I want us to all meet up at least once or twice a year just to talk to people and trade. Just have a trade night. Oh,
That'd be
my
cool.
next one is actually this week.
Oh, nice.
And hopefully that will motivate people in different states to build their own communities in the local area.
Yeah, we really have nothing here. Like the one person I know who collects as much as I do is like the friend I talk to. Um, and we've actually started a podcast just with us two. Not really planning, like not really putting it out there to go anywhere. It's just a thing that we do every other week just to stay engaged with the hobby. Just
Hmm.
to be sure like we're staying engaged on top of it just for ourselves. Um, but as far as local people, I mean, there's really not much. I'm in Missouri and kind of right in the middle. So like um, you got St. Louis and Kansas City kind of close, but yeah, maybe I should look into that and maybe get a group together or something and maybe meet up or
Hmm.
Pokemon trade night or something.
Yeah, just take a group picture together.
Yeah, swap signatures.
Hmm.
Start a signature binder. Well, we pretty much hit most things. There's a couple more here, but some kind of, questions that we touched on.
Hmm. I'm
Uh,
satisfied.
yeah, let's see. Yeah, just really not much else. Well, anything that you wanted to touch on? I guess there is one more thing. Like, do you think people will stay in the hobby? Like, who came in 2020? Which I think we kind of touched on that.
I think a lot of people will fall off.
Yeah.
One day, people are going to think, I need to make my life better first before I collect more Pokemon cards. And so you're going to have a lot more people selling than buying.
Yeah, I think the people, I mean, it comes down to the right reasons again. Like, a lot more people entered the hobby and are having fun, and it's bigger than ever. So, a lot of them will stay, but
Hmm.
there will be a lot who leave. More will leave from 2020 to 2024 than who've arguably ever left pre
Hmm.
2016 because everybody in the hobby then was like, just in it for fun, not really
I kind
chasing
of
money.
left it.
Yeah. I guess I kind of did too, but I mean like those who like leave for good essentially.
Oh.
So like, yeah, I wasn't very active. When was it? When I quit YouTube originally, which was like 2014 up until 2016. So just a couple
Hmm.
years, but and most people quit, you know, back in the OG days when we outgrew it before we rediscovered it again.
Hmm.
But yeah, for the people who like left for good, I think more people do that now than they've ever done. There's someone I work with whose husband, um, he's in medical school, and they started a side hustle in 2020, like trying to capitalize on the hype and the market and all that. So like they have no experience, they don't collect, they were just trying to make money. So like they're probably done, but
Were they successful?
they were successful, especially in that first year. Um, but yeah, they were just using it as a motive to like make money. And
Mhm.
they put a lot of money in their house, so they did good things with it. Improved their life in that regard. But yeah, they
Mhm.
were just using it as a moneymaker, and yeah, not really
Mhm.
involved
I'm
other than that.
I'm kind of curious to know how they did it if they appeared out of nowhere in the hobby. Usually you would need references of some sort.
Yeah, I don't really know the details. I know they found a distributor somehow. Maybe they got in like really early. Um,
They did box breaks?
no, just getting distributor product and selling. That way they don't have any,
Oh.
they have like a website, but other than that, they don't have like a social presence. Um, yeah, they just kind of set up a website. I have to ask them how it all went down, but yeah, it was a strange time for many people and was easy money, but yeah, I'm sure they're struggling now to get product. And you know
Mhm.
kind of stinks what the stores, like people who own stores, are going through. It's hard for them to get product again. It's not just because of the demand, it's just receiving product from distributors and all that.
Mhm. Too many people opening up their own LLC just so they can get booster boxes to either break on whatnot or like Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Very competitive.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that about pretty much does it though, unless you had something else you wanted to mention or talk about.
We can just summarize the important points. I guess for me, the important points are like, uh, put your happiness first, get involved in the hobby, not just from buying and selling, but actually going out and getting like groups together and having discussions with people. I think it's healthy for you. And sell your extras. Don't
Yeah.
just hoard.
My part will be sell your extras, buy what you really want,
Uh-huh.
which could be Pokemon. But yeah, the things Bonnie said, definitely keep in mind. If you can better your life, this is just cardboard. Collect what you want for fun.
Mhm.
If you're not making the house payment or stuff like that, like that's not going to be fun in the long run. So
Yeah, I'm
make smart decisions.
I'm worried that a lot of people are in debt to Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are in debt to Pokemon cards because I've had many customers who want payment plans for like $1,000 card. I'm guilty of doing it for a couple of cards, but it's more convenient for me. Um, but sometimes they're late on payments. And I'm like, are you sure you should be buying this card? I want you to be financially responsible first before giving me money.
yeah.
And we have issues of people not paying up in the Facebook groups. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure most people are in credit card debt
There
to this hobby.
was there was something scary I saw in 2020, and this is a well-known person. Not gonna name them, but
Hmm.
they were they made a video on YouTube, and they're not the biggest guy, but they got a following, and people would know the name. He was telling people strategies to increase your business or increase your capital, and like taking out a new credit card was one of the options. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this was like out there to many people, like encouraging people, like credit cards exist. You can get a new credit card, and everything's going up. Which yeah, it was, and it
Hmm.
was not the riskiest bet at that time. But looking back at the situation where it took 2 years to grade things, like people are just yeah, probably overpaid for the card, paid to have it graded, got it back
Hmm.
when it was not worth as
They
much.
they charge you at the end of your submission, So
Yeah.
you can get hit by $1,000 bill one after another if you keep sending cards in,
Yeah.
and that didn't give you much time to sell them. So a lot of people became like uh, in debt to these companies. Um, it happened to me once because I didn't accept someone's payment fully, and towards the end of COVID, a lot of these stuff started coming back. So I think I got hit with over $5,000 worth of submissions,
Yeah.
including the upcharges for a lot of the cards. That was a struggle.
Yeah.
Um,
That sucks.
and if you don't pay off your bill in time, I think PSA will maybe send them back to you ungraded. I'm not 100% sure. That didn't happen to me. But I ended up putting it on a credit card, which they had a promotion for zero interest if I were to split the payments. And that
Mm-hmm.
helped me out a lot.
That's good.
And I had time to sell cards on eBay to pay off those payments.
That's good. Yeah. When I send stuff in, I never submit, which I was about to on this last special, but I try not to submit anything that where I want to keep everything in that sub. Like I try to make sure there's always cards in that sub that I for sure want to sell.
Hmm.
So that helps a lot if you're unsure about doing things like that. But yeah, thankfully people are kind of getting smarter and realizing what's happening now. And but yeah, that was really scary. And I actually made a post about that in E4 at that time, and the guy who makes the videos was on E4 as well, and actually saw me post about their video and actually commented on there like, "Oh yeah, don't listen to that guy," blah blah blah. Um, kind of poking fun at himself, like, I'm just a random YouTuber. Don't listen to me. But it was obviously him. Everyone knows his username on there. So that was kind of awkward. He was like poking fun at me, like warning people about his own video about taking out a credit card.
Hmm.
And it's like, what are we doing? It's like, you know, it's not good advice. And
Hmm.
sure enough, some people are probably struggling quite a bit.
Hmm.
So,
They go into debt to impress people who don't care.
hmm, yeah, and they probably spent a lot, or like my friend, which he was fine, but going all in on evolutions and not being able to refrain from opening them. So then he did have to like grade them. Like, yeah, he's not.
Too long of a process.
Yeah, he's not. He didn't make as much, but he learned from it, and that's all you can do really.
Hmm.
But anyway, guys, well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Um, Probably gonna get this together and get it up in the next couple days. But thank you all for watching. Check out Bonnie over on Instagram and YouTube and their pages.
Yes, lots of pages. Too
Yeah,
many.
I'll try to list them in the description here. I have to make sure you send me a list so I don't miss
Yeah.
any. But all right, guys, we'll see you later.
Thank you, Nathan, for your work. And thank you guys for the questions.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again. We'll see you later.
Okay. Bye.